Hi, my name is Rebecca Lemos, and I'm here today with students from Eastern and Bell Senior High Schools, and we're at the Marion Street Garden. Today we're going to use the garden as an example of an ecosystem to study biodiversity. And biodiversity is when you have a mix of species in a certain ecosystem. In the Nature Works Everywhere lesson that we're going to demonstrate today, we're going to show how scientists use methods like data collection and analysis to check the health and productivity of a natural green space. So students will do a species census by observing, identifying, and recording the different animals that they see in their habitat. Because we're in a garden in a green space, we might see bees. So make sure to ask about any allergies first. So when you walk around in a garden, what do you see?
Bumblebees.
Bumblebees. And we see like frogs and people, and we see also birds and all kinds of insects. And squirrels, and we see squirrels too. And we see them interacting. And how do you see them interacting with each other or plants?
Birds sometimes come down and swoop up the caterpillars, and that's not always a good thing, but it's the circle of life.
The circle of life, yes. Any other ways that you see interaction?
Caterpillars love leaves.
The leaves from the host plants. And what do you think this says about the health of our garden when we see either a lot of these animals and insects or when we see a little?
When there's a lot, it means it's a healthy environment for them to live in.
And when we see a little? What do we
We're
think?
doing something wrong.
We're doing something wrong, exactly. Okay, so now we're going to go into the garden and we're going to do a species census to see how many organisms we can find in the garden. And we're going to be scientists. So how do we ensure that we are collecting accurate data when we're looking to see how many species there are in the garden?
We could put an indication of some sort in the ground to show that we've counted it already.
Perfect. To ensure quality data collection, you can try a few different methods. For younger kids, maybe hula hoops or identifying individual beds that they can use so that you don't count a space twice. For older students, consider using transects and quadrats. We want to make sure that we don't harm anything while we're out there. So when we are looking, where should we look?
In the flowers.
Definitely on the flowers. Perfect. Under a rock.
On the ground.
So what you're going to do is you're going to take these forms and you're going to walk around and look in all these places and write down. And I want you to write down not just what you see, but what they're doing and how they're interacting with the space. Okay, so let's see how many animals we can find in 10 minutes. I'm going to pass these out to you guys. Okay, let's go. Now that we've started the activity, it's a great idea to move around the students and get updates to see how they're filling out their field reports. Guys, can you give me an update? Let me know what you found so far.
Yeah, we just witnessed Mother Nature at its finest.
And what does that mean?
We just saw a fly eat an ant.
The more consistent and detailed your students can be in filling out the form, the more meaningful the data will be in the end. Tell me what you see.
See a lot of honeybees and a lot of worker bees.
Definitely, I see them too. What do you think they're doing?
Collecting pollen for their hives.
Yeah, and I see you got it all jotted down. Perfect, really nicely done. If you do this activity with your students several times through the year, the really cool thing is that you'll collect data that you can see change over time. This is particularly important when you're looking at plants and insects because through their life cycles, they have drastic changes that you might be able to witness between seasons or even from year to year. If you've just built your garden or your green space, over time, your students are going to see an increase in the amount and variety of species they observe. When you create a favorable habitat, you can increase the variety of species that live there. In this way, gardens and green spaces model a larger ecosystem. Students can see these relationships up close without leaving their school grounds. Okay, now that we finished our activity, I want to review and look through some of our findings. So first off, can you tell me, someone tell me what they found and where they found it? Anaja.
We found some honeybees and some worker bees.
Nice. And where did you find them?
In the aster bush.
Okay, and what were they doing?
Collecting pollen and nectar.
What do we think is going to happen over time? You know, so maybe what's going to happen in the winter, what's going to happen in the spring. Does anyone have a thought about that? Bro.
So over the winter, most of our insects will die, and they'll also cause of our produce will die also. But over the springtime, as our insects starts to come back, and our produce and our flowers will start to produce more.
Great. There's definitely an interconnection there between the animals and species we see and the plants that grow in our garden. What would happen if there wasn't a garden here? What would we see or not see?
We would see more pollution. We wouldn't have produce for the neighborhood. We wouldn't be able to see life here.
Tavon's right. If there wasn't a garden, there wouldn't be, different insects and species making it their habitat. And if there weren't the insects and species, it wouldn't be a very healthy garden. So all the students here have taken their data and entered it into the Nature Works Everywhere website so that they can track things that we see and observe over time. These data can also be downloaded as a spreadsheet for more extensive analysis. You can also use this lesson to do exercises around food webs and ecological pyramids to show how species are interconnected. The greater the diversity that we see in plants and animals in our gardens or our habitats, the more effective these ecological systems are at helping keep nature resilient and productive.